Lieutenant Aaron Hale stepped off the shuttle and onto the soft amber sands of Luma 9. The twin suns hung low in the sky, painting the world in shades of gold and crimson. Around him, the alien city rose in spires of crystal and metal, glowing faintly under the alien sunlight. His mission was simple in words but impossible in reality. Establish peaceful contact with the Luma, an ancient and proud species known for their strict adherence to instincts and tradition. Humanity was new here, young and untested, but he carried the weight of an entire species on his shoulders. The Luma people gathered, their eyes wide, their elongated forms shimmering with bioluminescent markings. They moved gracefully, but there was a tension in their posture, a silent assessment of the human before them. They had heard of humans, of course, but in their minds humans were soft creatures. They were fragile, emotional, and clumsy. They had no sense of instinct, no guiding force to shape their lives. To the Luma, humans were fascinating curiosities, nothing more. Among the crowd stood Cyril, a young Luma scholar. She had studied humans for years, observing from afar, reading reports of their wars, their art, their unpredictable choices. She considered herself immune to fascination. Humans were not real threats, not real examples of greatness. Yet as Aaron stepped into the open, she felt a stirring deep within her, something she had never experienced. It was not thought, not logic. It was instinct, raw and undeniable. Their eyes met, just for a moment. Yet it was enough. Cyril's markings flickered, changing colors as her heart raced. Her body reacted before her mind could process. Every Luma in the crowd sensed it. The bond instinct, a rare phenomenon that could not be controlled, only experienced. The elders whispered to each other in alarm. Such a reaction had not been seen in generations. Aaron noticed the sudden silence, the ripple of tension through the crowd. He remained calm, standing straight, unarmed, unafraid. There was no arrogance in his stance, only confidence. He raised a hand in greeting, his voice steady. "I am Lieutenant Aaron Hale, representing Earth. I come in peace." His words carried a weight beyond their simplicity. He spoke not as a servant or a subordinate, but as an equal. To Cyril, this calm defiance was magnetic, pulling at her instincts with an irresistible force. After the initial greeting, the Luma elders led Aaron to their council chambers. Cyril followed at a distance, her curiosity burning brighter than the twin suns. That night she could not sleep. Her instincts would not allow it. Every fiber of her being demanded she understand this human. She read through reports and data streams, studying Earth's history, the wars humans had fought and the choices they had made. Humans were unpredictable, yes, but there was a pattern, a strange, almost magical consistency. They fought not for instinct, but for one another. They chose their actions, and that choice, Cyril realized, made them strong in ways the Luma could not understand. The next morning she approached Aaron in a quiet garden, hidden from the council's watchful eyes. The glowing plants illuminated their faces, casting shadows across the alien stone paths. Cyril's markings shimmered nervously, betraying her emotions despite her efforts to control them. "You are not like them," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "You are human, yet different." "I do not understand." Aaron looked at her with calm patience. "We do not follow instinct the way you do. We choose, we decide. Every action, every reaction, and it is ours to make." Cyril stared at him, struggling to comprehend. Instinct had always guided her, controlled her. The thought that a being could act with awareness, with deliberate choice, shook her to the core. She had always believed that instincts were the truest form of life. And yet, here was a human proving otherwise. The council had begun to notice her absences. Rumors spread like wildfire through the spires of Luma 9. Whispers of the young scholar's unusual behavior reached the ears of the elders. They summoned her immediately. "Cyril," the head elder said, his voice low and firm, "your instincts have led you to bond with a human. This is forbidden. Humans are unpredictable. They are a danger to our way of life." Cyril felt a surge of defiance, unusual for her species. Her instinct screamed at her to obey, but another force, yawned something new and frightening, urged her to resist. "I do not fear him," she said, her markings glowing brightly. "He is not a danger. He is different. He shows strength I have never seen in my people." The elder's eyes narrowed. "Different is dangerous. You cannot allow yourself to be swayed by something you do not understand. The human must leave. You must forget him," but Cyril could not. She had already seen in the brief moments they had shared a spark that challenged everything she knew. Her instincts were no longer enough to guide her. She had to understand this human and what he represented. Later that evening, she met Aaron again. In a secluded dome beneath the glowing canopy of alien flora, the air was thick with the scent of luma blossoms, a heady perfume that made her markings pulse even faster. "Why do you not fear me?" she asked. "Why do you face my people without armor, without weapons?" Aaron smiled faintly. "Because I have no reason to fear. I respect your species, your choices, your instincts. But I am not bound by fear. I choose my actions." Cyril could not answer. Words failed her. Her instincts, her training, her very identity as a Luma scholar told her to flee, to hide, to obey the council. And yet she did not move. She could not move. She was drawn to him, not by logic, not by training, but by something older, deeper, a connection she could not name. As they spoke, a sudden tremor shook the ground. The twin suns glinted off the crystal spires, sending prisms of light across the city. Cyril instinctively reached for Aaron, her body moving before her mind could process. The council had begun monitoring the city for signs of instability, and the tremor was a reminder of their world's fragility. Aaron's calm voice broke through the noise. "Stay with me," he said. "We can face this together." For the first time, Cyril felt the full weight of choice. Her instincts screamed to run, to hide, to obey the elders. But another force, unhuman in nature perhaps, whispered to stay. And she stayed. The tremor subsided, leaving a silence that was almost unbearable. Cyril's markings glowed softly, calming as she realized something remarkable. Instinct had guided her to him, yes, but choice had kept her there. She understood in that moment that there was a power in choice, a strength humans wielded that her species had long forgotten. The council convened again the next morning, their anger and confusion evident. They demanded Aaron leave immediately. Humanity, they declared, was a dangerous influence on Luma society. But Cyril's instincts now served a different purpose. They guided her to protect him, to protect the knowledge he brought, to see beyond fear and tradition. She intercepted him at the landing bay. "You cannot leave," she said firmly. "If you go, everything changes. Our world, our people, it will suffer." Aaron looked at her, calm as ever. "Then we face it together," he said. "Whatever comes, we face it as equals." Cyril nodded, feeling a strange thrill of certainty. Instinct had brought her to him, but choice, human choice, had shown her the path forward. And though neither of them fully understood what lay ahead, one thing was clear. The encounter between human and Luma would not be forgotten. It would change everything. As the twin suns set, painting the sky in brilliant oranges and deep purples, Cyril stood by Aaron, feeling the pulse of her instincts and the weight of her choices intertwine. Something new had begun on Luma 9, something neither species had ever seen before, and for the first time in generations, the future seemed both uncertain and full of promise. The council's chambers echoed with tension as the elders debated Aaron Hale's presence. Cyril stood among them, her markings glowing brighter than ever, defying the traditional calm expected of her people. She had made her choice, one that no elder could control. "You do not understand," the head elder said sharply. "Humans are unpredictable. Their presence disrupts the natural order of our society. Lieutenant Hale must leave." Cyril stepped forward, her voice clear and unwavering. "Order is not survival. Instinct alone cannot save our world. This human, he brings knowledge, choice, and courage. If he leaves, we risk everything." A ripple of murmurs spread across the council. The elders had never seen such defiance. Cyril's instincts had always guided her, but now her choice, a human-like choice, challenged the centuries-old rules of the Luma. Aaron, standing calmly beside her, inclined his head. "I will not force your people to accept me, but I will not leave if it endangers your world." No one anticipated what would happen next. The planetary nexus and the great power core that fueled Luma 9 began to tremble violently. Energy readings spiked in dangerous surges, sending glowing arcs of electricity across the city's energy conduits. Buildings shook and alarms blared throughout the spires. The elders froze, unable to react. "The nexus is unstable," one of them shouted. "If it collapses, the city will be destroyed." Cyril's instincts screamed at her to retreat, to flee and protect herself, but she did not move. She looked at Aaron, whose calm presence seemed to anchor her. "We must act," he said, his voice steady. The surge is too strong for your systems alone. I can help, but I need your cooperation. Siral nodded, feeling a strange thrill of fear mixed with determination. Together, they raced through the city toward the Nexus core, weaving past panicked citizens and sparking conduits of energy. Cyril's markings glowed with intensity, her instincts guiding her through the safest paths, while Aaron's calm reasoning directed their actions. Inside the Nexus chamber, the heart of the energy core pulsed violently. Massive conduits arced and crackled with unstable power. Aaron quickly assessed the situation. The surge is overwhelming your failsafes, he said. I need to vent the excess manually. It's dangerous, I could die. Cyril hesitated, instincts screaming at her to protect him. Her body wanted to act, to take his place, to save the human who had become the center of her thoughts and feelings. But Aaron placed a hand gently on her shoulder. You do not have to risk your life, he said. Instinct makes you act without thought. Choice. Choice is what makes you truly alive. You have the power to act or to stay. That is what makes us humans strong. Her markings pulsed brightly, a visual heartbeat that mirrored her internal struggle. Cyril realized he was right. Her instincts had brought her here, but her choice now could save or destroy them all. She stepped aside, letting him take the lead, trusting in the human's courage. Aaron moved with precision, climbing onto the energy conduits, attaching venting modules where the surge was strongest. Sparks flew around him, some grazing his armor, but he remained focused. Cyril stayed close, her bioluminescent field radiating a protective aura that absorbed and redirected stray arcs of energy. Together, instinct and choice combined in a seamless rhythm, each complementing the other. Suddenly, a massive surge hit the core. Aaron was thrown to the side, landing heavily on the floor. His breath came in sharp gasps, but he smiled faintly. We're not done yet, he said. Cyril's instincts flared again, her markings turned a deep, glowing red. Without hesitation, she leaped forward, placing herself over him to shield him from the brunt of the energy. The Nexus pulsed violently, then slowly began to stabilize. The dangerous arcs of energy faded, the conduits hummed evenly, and the chamber's alarms quieted. Aaron stood, brushing off dust and sparks, and looked at Cyril. You did well, he said. Your instincts guided us, and our choices made the difference. That is what matters. Cyril's markings glimmered softly, a mix of relief and awe. She realized then that humans were not fragile, as her studies had suggested. Their strength lay not in instinct alone, nor in brute force, but in their ability to choose and to act deliberately, even in fear and uncertainty. Outside the chamber, the citizens of Luma 9 gathered, witnessing the calm aftermath. The elders approached, their faces a mixture of disbelief and admiration. The head elder spoke, his voice quieter than before. Cyril, you have risked everything, defying tradition for a human, he said. And yet you have saved our world, perhaps. There is wisdom in your choice. Aaron bowed slightly, a gesture of respect. I did not act alone. Your people's instincts guided us. Together we balanced what neither could achieve alone. The council deliberated long into the night. By the next day, a decision was made. Humans would no longer be banned from Luma 9. Instead, they would be welcomed as equals, with respect for their choices and courage. Cyril's actions had opened a new chapter in Luma history, a chapter where instinct and choice could coexist. In the quiet moments afterward, Cyril walked through the glowing gardens, her thoughts on Aaron. She felt her instincts, once overwhelming and uncontrollable, now tempered by choice. She understood that instinct was powerful, but when combined with deliberate decision, it became something greater, a force that could protect, build, and inspire. Aaron approached her, his expression calm, but his eyes reflecting the faint exhaustion from the day's events. You have changed your people, he said quietly, and in doing so, you have changed me as well. Cyril smiled faintly. You taught me that strength is not just instinct. It is choice. That courage is not born but made again and again. He nodded, understanding. Humanity had survived countless wars, countless dangers because humans chose to act, to help, to protect. Cyril had just witnessed that choice in its purest form, and her instincts, long untamed, had finally found harmony with it. As the twin suns set again, painting the sky in brilliant oranges and purples, the city of Luma 9 shimmered with a new sense of hope. The citizens, once fearful and skeptical of humans, now regarded them with curiosity and respect. Stories of the humans' bravery and the young Luma scholars' courage spread quickly, inspiring even the most conservative of elders. Cyril stood at the highest spire, gazing at the stars above. She could feel her instincts, strong and alive, but tempered now with something new: understanding, respect, and the wisdom to choose her actions. She thought of Aaron, orbiting the planet in his shuttle, and felt a connection beyond words, a bond of trust and shared purpose. For the first time in generations, the future of Luma 9 seemed full of possibility. Instinct and choice, once at odds, now worked together. Humanity had shown the galaxy that courage was not just about survival, but about standing tall, facing fear, and making the right choice. And in that harmony of instinct and choice, Cyril realized something profound. Humans were not weak as her people had thought. They were a reminder of what it meant to be alive, to act with intention, to protect what mattered, and to rise above fear with courage. The twin suns dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the crystal spires. Cyril felt the pulse of the city beneath her feet, the rhythm of life sustained by both instinct and choice. And somewhere in orbit, Aaron Hale looked down at the planet he had helped save, knowing that this was only the beginning. A beginning of trust, understanding, and a bond that would change the galaxy forever. As night fell over Luma 9, the stars seemed brighter than ever, reflecting the light of two civilizations learning to respect each other. And in the quiet of the alien night, Cyril's instincts whispered a promise that she would protect this newfound connection, not just for her people, but for the humans who had shown her a different way to be strong. The future was uncertain. The galaxy was vast and full of danger, but for the first time the people of Luma 9 knew that humans, with their courage, their choice, and their willingness to act, could stand beside them, not as conquerors, not as threats, but as allies.